All right, what's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to show you how to level your deck on your Cub Cadet. I am doing it on a 1046. All right, the tools you're going to need to level your deck are going to be a 3/4 inch wrench. A ratcheting wrench would be nice. I'll put something like this down in the description. A 1/2 inch socket or maybe even a 1/2 inch wrench. And I end up just using a small pair of channel locks to turn the nut on. You'll see in the video on the other side here that makes this level from right to left. And you might want a tape measure. I didn't really use this too much. I ended up just figuring out by putting a couple different blocks under there and maybe this block. All right, first thing, for safety purposes, I want you to unplug both of your spark plugs. I have one on this side and I have one on the other. I got this one already unplugged. Just make sure you go on the other side and unplug the other one. All right, reason we're unplugging them spark plugs is because we're going to be messing with the blades, and I don't want this thing somehow to start up and cut one of your hands off. I'd like to have maybe a beer after this, and it's going to be hard to drink a beer if I'm missing a hand or both hands. All right, second thing you're going to want to do after you unplug both of your spark plugs is make sure all 4 of your tires are pumped up to the correct pressure. The front tires on this Cub Cadet are going to be at 14 psi. It says right here on the tire. And the rear tires are going to be at 10 psi. It says right on the tire. As if you have one tire that's completely pumped up and one tire that's kind of flat, your lawnmower is not going to sit even. So let me pump up these couple tires. Looks good there. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to level this deck from front to rear. We're going to level the deck. Now, all right, the front of this deck should be 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch lower than the back of the deck. And the reason for that is it helps so the blades only cut in the front of the deck. They don't cut in the front of the deck and in the back of the deck, because then it'll start making your lawn look funny. So I'm going to tell you exactly what it shows you in the manual, but I really kind of believe you could just go off of the deck if you want to, but it does say in the manual to take the blade and make it perpendicular with the lawnmower. That means make the blade go this way, just like this, not like this. So push on that. Be careful. Be careful if you already sharpened them like me, because I already almost cut my thumb again. Now, like I said, you're going to want the front lower. It says to go off the blades, which is definitely probably a good idea. Definitely not the easiest, but probably a good idea. I almost think you could almost go off of your deck. If your deck is not all bent up, you could probably just measure it to the bottom of this deck if you want. That is how I do it on my John Deere, and it seems like it's been fine so far. Now this is what I did. Instead of trying to use a tape measure, I just found enough blocks. This is a 2-inch block, and it looks like I have maybe a 1/4 inch piece, a 3/4 inch piece, and it may be different than for you. I ended up messing around with the lever here to go up and down a little bit, just so these boards will fit. To show you, these boards will fit under my blades, just like that. So, and it is just touching right there. Just under that blade. So now it should be 1/4 inch to 3 inch, or 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch higher in the back. So we'll slide these back here. Maybe I think my deck needs to go down a little bit farther in the front. It actually seems tighter in the back. So I'm going to adjust that a little bit. So let me drop the front of this deck down a little bit. I think I'm going to raise this one notch. I think I'm going to raise that 1 notch. And then I'm going to try to drop that front like 1/4 inch. All right, to lower the deck, there's a nut up front. If you want to lower the deck, you're going to loosen that nut. I've got some wood up here. I think I can lower it down until it gets really close to touching that wood. So I'm going to loosen this. Yeah, it's really close to touching. All right, like I said, if you loosen that nut up front, it's going to make the deck go lower in the front. So if you tighten that nut, it should raise the deck. Pretty simple. So just make sure your blades are, like I said, 1/4 inch lower to 3/8 of an inch lower in the front. Yeah, I just tried this. If I just take these 2 blocks, I could stick these 2 blocks right under my deck like that, but I put it up front, and it's, at least for me, it's laying on this, and I can take these 2 blocks and put them in the back of my deck, slide them under, and I have almost 1/4 inch of a gap. So if that blade thing is too hard for you, if your deck is not all beat up and all bent up, you could probably get really close by just putting it under your deck. Now, to level this deck right to left, they say to do the opposite. Take your blade and spin it around like this. You want your blade to be perpendicular, and you would do the same thing. You're going to measure this from the tip of this blade to the ground, and from the tip of the blade on the other side to the ground, which looks about ridiculous. I don't know how you're ever going to get in, you'd be in the middle of that. But I really believe if you just can slide that board in there like that. See, my board is just barely up off of it there. Let's go check the other side. See, it looks maybe like it's a little bit higher on this side. So I could maybe lower the deck. Now this just depends too if your floor is completely level. I recommend if you try to do this, look at your spindle and put that block right in the same spot where your spindle's at on both sides if you try to do that. Unless you think you can do that blade thing. All right, it's really hard to show you, but I did measure from the tip of this blade to the ground and from the tip of my blade to the ground on the other side. And it does look like this deck needs to go down just a little bit on the other side. Pretty much I'm going to show you how I'm going to lower the other side. The only thing you can do to this deck is lower and raise the other side. Not the side where the chute is, but the left side of this tractor. All right, to raise and lower this side of the deck, you're going to have to take a 1/2 inch, either wrench or socket, and loosen this bolt up right here. So loosen that up. And then we have to turn this to make this side go up or down. So I want to lower this side, so I think I'm going to turn it, like, loosen this. I think's what I would have to do. Oop. There, it went down. So if you want to lower it, you got to loosen this. You want to raise it, you got to tighten it. There we go, that looks good. And where you get it where you want it, you just got to tighten this back up so it won't move on you. Alright, there we go. I hope this video helped you out leveling your deck on your Cub Cadet lawnmower. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. God bless and have a great summer.